Thank you very much for making time with us. Need I remind you that the news broadcast is coming to you live from our studio Platinum Place, Northridge here in Accra. Let's move on to our very first story now. Reverend Isaac Owusu-Bempah, the General Overseer of Glorious Word Power Ministry International, and two others who were earlier charged for threat of death on Nana Agrada, have been rearrested shortly after they were discharged by the circuit court presided over by Her Honor Efia Owusu-Apia. This was after the prosecution, led by Chief Inspector Dennis Tekpete, prayed the court to discharge them of the earlier charges. Following the latest development at the last court sitting, their lawyers, Gary Inimako Mafo, indicated to the court that they were going to petition the Attorney General over the manner the prosecution was handling the case. Apart from this case, Reverend Bempah and three others are also facing charges of causing unlawful damage in different court development the lawyers are unhappy about. EIB Network's court correspondent Mutala Yunusa reports that they are currently waiting for the case to be allocated to a court for the new charges to be pressed against them. He joins us over the line for more on this particular matter. Mutala.
Joshua.
Great. Thank you for making time with us. Now, let me just start by help us understand what triggered the rearrest of Reverend Isaac Owusu-Bempah this time around.
Okay, so Joshua, in respect of this particular case, you realize that it is one that has always come up in court. It's about the first time the Reverend Owusu-Bempah and the other two accused persons are appearing in court. The last again did, in fact, prosecution did make some new arrests, so there was a substitution of the fact sheet, which has to do with the withdrawal, and the first one was filed, which subsequently led to Reverend Owusu-Bempah and two others being charged for threat of death on Nana Agrada. So the case for today was for case management conference, and in fact, even that particular day, realized that Reverend Owusu-Bempah and three others are also standing trial for different charges in respect of causing harm and damages in a different court. But all these issues stem out from that incident in the house of Nana Agrada. It is one that the defense lawyers led by Gary Inimako actually raised concern about the fact that the way prosecution was handling the case, i.e., to try a case that happened on the same day in two different courts, is one that is alien to the practice, and so they were going to petition the Attorney General on the conduct of the manner in which prosecution was done. The court presided over by Anna, Mrs. Efia Owusu-Apia, again the matter today for case management conference. In fact, when the matter was called, prosecution indicated to the court that they want the accused persons to be discharged of the threat of death, and the other two accused persons to be discharged of the earlier charges that were preferred against them. So the court straight away discharged the accused persons. Now, when they were moving out of the courtroom, and they were rearrested for new charges, and these latest charges, Joshua, I must say, it's in respect of some 11 charges. 11 charges are part of these latest charge sheets that prosecution is currently waiting before the circuit court. All the accused persons have arrived. They are seated waiting for the case to be called. So they will be Reverend Owusu-Bempah and the 6 others. In fact, the new one, 4 more persons have been arrested again. So the accused persons, in addition to Reverend Owusu-Bempah, are 7. There are no more 3. There are now 7. So that has actually influenced the latest development as far as this particular case is concerned. And my understanding is that there are 11 charges in all that will be preferred against them in these latest charges that prosecution is actually waiting patiently for a case to be called, and the charges will be made available to the court. And in our subsequent bulletin, we'll advise our listeners what charges have been leveled or have been pressed against Reverend Owusu-Bempah and the 6 others that are currently before the court.
Thank you very much, Mutala Inusa is our court correspondent there, bringing us up to speed on this particular issue. Now, let's move on to other stories. The Suhum Police has arrested a 32-year-old man for impersonating a military officer to defraud a desperate young man seeking to be enlisted into the Ghana Armed Forces. On November 8, 2021, the victim, Ohene Ado Richmond, who lives in Achim Apedra, assisted by Ado, ADO2 Agri Nana Ado, a fire officer with Suhum Fire Service, arrested the suspect Tanko Sani, 32, and handed him over to the Suhum police. The victim reported that on November 6, 2021, the suspect introduced himself to him as an army officer, convinced and collected cash of about 2,800 Ghana cedis under the pretext of recruiting him into the Ghana Armed Forces, but later found out that he was not an army officer as claimed. The public relations officer of the Eastern Regional Police Command, DSP Ebenezer Tete, told Star News on receipt of the complaint, a statement was obtained from the complainant and witnesses. He said the suspect, Sani Tanko, was rearrested and detained to assist with investigations. Meanwhile, another victim of a recruitment scam, Hajia Ramatu Abdul Rahman Said of Koforia Zango, has accused one Inspector Besmak Seto, allegedly stationed at Jubilee House, of defrauding her of an amount of 8,000 Ghana cedis under the pretense of recruiting her son into the Ghana Police Service. According to Hajia Ramatu Abdul Rahman, the police officer and his father, Joseph Seto, approached him last year that they can help her two children be enlisted into the Ghana Police Service and that she should pay 8,000 Ghana cedis each to facilitate the process, but paid only 8,000 Ghana cedis and still did not get the promise fulfilled. A formal complaint was initiated at the Eastern Regional Police Headquarters, where the suspect refunded 3,000 Ghana cedis of the said amount, which is 8,000, but has since failed to refund the rest of the amount.
Our connection. Me back Bismarck Sitompo, no man. This is me pebia, but each person be a year 8,000. And I'm sad, yeah, so benya dia me pay. And no see you. Into oko and some no san by. Say, what catch a penny say, or one column you know, or do a mobeba. But I catch me couldn't say, Papa Nabo, I know of your friend Joseph Siton. Waba, into no so waba dia. Me fa man, but mammy funny in a man, me fa back man. So the menu bar, number of Sandy Baptist can account. The demand, I'm all the choir. Inti, we were one, me friend, cast and pit behind Chireni. Me manage now, I catch him say, ya fa be more, and still down, we are friend. Them so munya butre, a benya. Inti at why ye na then cross and name who you rami.
That is a mother of two sons who fell victim to an imposter who played as a recruitment officer and took away 8,000 Ghana cedis from the mother, supposedly to fulfill a promise made to the mother to provide them a place or enlist them onto the police service. They will keep an eye on that and will bring you some updates or response from the appropriate quarters. Now, the Inspector General of Police, IGP Dr. Ekufu Dampare, is currently in a meeting with the creative arts industry and critical issues of policy and security of members in the sector. The meeting is also to afford the police administration an opportunity to listen to their concerns on security and copyright issues. My colleague Hanan Abdul Adam is at the meeting and joins us via Zoom with some update. Hanan. Hanan, can you hear me? Hello? Well, we'll be establishing or reconnecting the line to establish contact with my colleague Hanan Abdul Adam, who's currently at the police headquarters monitoring conversations between the Inspector General of Police, Dr. George Ekufu Dampare, who's currently engaging some personalities within the creative arts industry. Now, we do know that the IGP has subsequently met with some agencies, religious bodies, including CSOs and the media, to fresh out some of these concerns and find a better way to fashion the relationship between the police and the respective agencies. But currently, the IGP is with the creative industry personalities at the headquarters, and my colleague Hanan is just there standing by to give us some updates and some of the things he's been picking up. Hanan, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you, Joshua.
Perfect. Now, what have you been picking up and what can you tell us?
Okay, well, Joshua, the IGP is currently with the creative arts industry players, where he's engaging them concerning security issues in the country. Recently, we know what happened, especially with Medical and Shatawale, who are currently also here present during the meeting. Unfortunately, we don't have Medical, who we don't know the reason why he's here, but we have Shatawale, we have Stoneboy, we have Gamro, we have Musiga, we have the Filmmakers Association of Ghana, FIPAC. We also have other bodies that matter when it comes to entertainment in Ghana. So what this meeting sought to do is to, elicit the concerns of these entertainment industry players or creatives concerning security, because the IGP believes that they play or they have an important role to play when it comes to policing and security in this country. We know what happened recently, like I indicated earlier, where some popular musicians were arrested and are currently standing trial in court for various offenses, Joshua. So we have the likes of KKD, we have the likes of KOD, Kwesi Ocheredako. We also have Samini, who is here. We have Bila Samoa, who is representing the Kumawood. We also have Abreku Santana, who is representing the media, or who is leading the media delegation. So we have various personalities who are leading various associations and groups who are participating in this meeting. So at the end of the meeting, the IGP wants to hear their concerns concerning the general security of the country and what role they are expected to play, considering the fact that they are inspirations or mentors for other young Ghanaians in the country. So they also want to, raise certain concerns regarding how they are treated by the police in the country, Joshua.
Now, I was going to come to the point where the end of the meeting will seek to establish a particular direction for as far as policy and security is concerned. Now, did you pick up or hear any of the personalities maybe put before the IGP a critical question, and what was the question?
Well, Joshua, the concerns of the creative has to do with, how, they are treated when it comes to, arrests, when it comes to, entertainment venues, for example, how they are treated by the police. I think generally that has been the concern. But unfortunately, with the open discussion, the media has been excused, so we are unable to know what exactly it is. But what I picked up from KKD, who left a while ago, is the security, the general security of members of the entertainment industry, where a question, I think, was asked about how some of the members of the entertainment industry were arrested, how they are invited. They believe that there should be a procedure how they are arrested, making comparison with other Ghanaians who are serving in different capacities. They mentioned that it will be proper for the police to actually, invite them so that they come and answer questions. But a situation where, the police have to storm their homes or, shows or studios to effect the arrest of certain personalities, it's not the case. For example, it has to do with Funny Face, who was arrested while he was conducting an interview. The CID surrounded the building where he was answering questions with a presenter, where CID personnel surrounded the building and later had to, arrest him or whisk him away. They also mentioned the issue of Medical. They also mentioned the issue, with Shatawale. But with Shatawale, we actually saw that he was invited. But there were other, examples that were cited when it comes to arresting members of the entertainment industry. But generally, Joshua, the IGP wants to have, a good working relationship with the creatives. He believes that they have a bigger role to play when it comes to security matters in this country. He believes that they can actually champion a lot of causes or a lot of campaigns that will enhance effective policing and security in the country, Joshua.
Thank you very much, Hanan. Indeed, the IGP is actually reaching out to every quarters and every nook and cranny to establish that police relation and trust in their police service. Thank you. Now moving on to other stories. A huge sawmill at the Achim Asene in the Asene Manso Akroso district in the eastern region has been razed down by fire. The fire outbreak occurred around 1:30 a.m. on Wednesday, November 10, 2021. Wood and equipment worth thousands of Ghana cedis at Diamond City Sawmill were consumed by the fire. The cause of the fire is not known. However, the owner of Diamond City Sawmill, Kweku Owusu alias Kweku Azar, suspects an arson attack. According to him, about a week ago, a man stormed his sawmill claiming ownership of the land and threatened him to relocate for the area to be used to construct a fuel station. Meanwhile, the brother-in-law of the owner of the sawmill, Apostle Yao Safo, has placed a bounty of 5,000 Ghana cedis for anyone who assists in arresting the suspect. Now, police at Kaswa has arrested and investigation into have started an investigation into the death and murder with broken bottles and sticks by unknown assailant at Kaswa Walantu West in the Ewutu Senya East municipality of the Central Region at dawn on Tuesday, November 9. Information gathered by AIB Network Central Regional Correspondent Yao Boijan indicates that the suspect allegedly stripped the deceased naked before stabbing him to death with bottles. Speaking in an interview with AIB Network Central Regional Correspondent Yao Boijan, the Ewutu Senya East Municipal NADMO Director Kwame Amwa said the deceased died a painful death after body examination by the police.
Awonu na omekuno na omudine ebutu fom na de won say e bi samante mo poni nyina obi ase oni mo hwe police commander bae obi sa omu nyina obi ase oni mo hwe enti no mesre say we no emema nhwehwemu aye aduma kase cause kase no ye ya gidigu di boni achiraben na otu miendu bia no sansem na bisi enti we no mesra IGP ni nkofo se we no emema omo ahwehwom na yehu owuo no ne kwalibai du hono na ya bunu ama wewu eda efom hono bunu ohwa em say anadwo no mu enura the whole night yeah, light out enti according to say information I gather say em say obuko bia obi dem are more than one and ye owi de ekonumu o ma bunu ama o de few eti around and about 8 mu na pese omu amu ho no efrem say bi say na esi ye eti miso me frɛ eye nadmo director any sanitation form ama omudi ka abedu hono mu what do you dey say no e say police for afa omudi ko police mob e wo Accra.
Let's now bring you some update on the ongoing climate conference at Glasgow. Some of the snippets that you should be looking out for now. A few of the things you should know, and this is coming from the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres. Now, we need a green planet, but the world is on red alert. We are at the verge of the abyss. We must make sure the next step is in the right direction. Leaders everywhere must take action. First, by building a global coalition for net zero emissions by 2050 in every country, every region, every city, every company, and every industry. That is coming from the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres there. The summit will be ending sometime on the 12th of November, and a few things have been coming up The world leaders are looking at having a 1.5 emission goal, so to reduce all of that. Quite interesting is that some of the largest emission of carbon did not show up. China did not really make up. But an interesting summit that you should be paying attention to. Let's now take you to the Volta region. A resident of Salakope Mutinu in the Keta South municipality of the Volta region are counting their losses yet again following the latest tidal wave destruction that hit the area on Saturday. On Monday, the elders of the communities have had to undertake a reburial exercise for the remnant of dead bodies unearthed from the cemetery by the destructive wave. The GhOne News' Faisal Abdul Idrisu has been in the affected communities and came through with this report.
So this morning we are back here in Salakope Amutinu, a conjoined community here in the Ketu South municipality. Two of the 4 communities that have been affected by tidal wave incidents. Now this year alone, there have been 7 major tidal wave incidents that struck the communities. Many houses have been submerged, properties lost to the sea. On Saturday, another incident happened. About 40 households have been affected so far. We have been told that about 200 people have been displaced. All they have left for them is a church building where they now sleep. Interestingly, the sea has reclaimed part of the land again in Saturday's incident. And so from where I stand to the roadside, which is just about meters away, the sea on the other side, there is a vast land left now. But that is still not a safe place. We are standing right here at the cemetery where people have been buried. But there is one interesting twist to this whole issue. People who have been buried far in the past have had to be re-excavated. And what you are seeing behind me here is a process to get them buried. But I have the former assembly member and an elder of the community who would be telling me what exactly they have lost so far and what this process would be about.
I cannot count my loss. There are a lot, including my brothers, my siblings. We were having a very mighty houses here. About 500 meters away, the sea has started coming to us. We have been running away, but now we are just on an island now. As I'm telling you now, we don't have even any food to eat. As I'm telling you now, because we cannot be able to go to sea. Our nets are lying idle here. You see, the sea is rough. You can't go. By going, you seek damaging your net and the canoe. We are starving. We are thinking the government will come to our aid by now. But still, there's nothing going on. We don't understand. We don't know whether we are also Ghanaians or not.
For those who are still surviving the tide, life is simply hopeless at the moment, as there is no help in sight.
This issue of tidal wave has gone beyond just the 2 communities. It is now a national threat. I say it is a national threat because the road that connects Keta to Aflao will soon be affected, and soon the sea will gush into the river and will affect the main road that connects Aflao to Keta. And we all know that the Aflao border generates a lot of revenue to government, and so if nothing is done in time to ensure that the sea defense wall is extended to these communities, it will going to impact negatively on the country itself.
In the interim, the MC for the area, Masol Kofi Lugudo, has announced plans to relocate the victims onto the lagoon side, while steps are taken to find a lasting solution.
I already discussed with the regional minister. As I said earlier on, as you were coming, you could see that you have to cross the lagoon in a way to reach here. So that is the first thing we are going to look for to do, so that cars can come over, because the place have to be accessible to the people. Apart from that, you could see that there is no electricity here, and there is no drinkable water, potable water here too. So those are the things we have to put in place as quickly as possible, because you can't put people here without those things.
Where I stand is the proposed land, which is being made available for the affected residents to relocate to. But of course, this is a flood-prone area. This is the lagoon side of the land. And so it is not easy for anybody to just move here and put up structures. The few you can see here, anytime it's rain, they are in trouble. But the MCA has been assuring us that they will take steps to make the land suitable and fit for infrastructure purposes. Reporting here from Amutinu Salakope, and for GhOne News, my name is Faisal Abdul Idrisu.
Now, meanwhile, the Community Focus Foundation Ghana CFF says it has observed with total disappointment and pain the seeming neglect of victims affected by the tidal waves in Ketu South Municipality of the Volta region of Ghana. Now, CFF intimates the loss of several properties and displacement caused by the tidal waves in that part of the country cannot be underestimated, and is calling on the President of the Republic, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, to take urgent measures in finding a lasting solution to the annual occurrence of the tidal wave destruction of communities along the sea in Ketu South. Now, joining me over the line is the Executive Director of the Community Focus Foundation, Richard Kasu. Good afternoon, Richard.
Good afternoon, sir.
Great. Thank you very much for making time with us. Now, when you say seeming neglect by the government in relation to the affected persons who were caught up with this yet again tidal wave, how exactly do you mean?
Okay, let me say a very good morning to your cherished viewers and to your good self for the good job you are doing. It is an issue, the tidal wave issue at Ketu South municipality is not new to anyone. This problem has been reoccurring every now and then, and the communities have been appealing to government on several occasions for the sea defense project. But one will ask that what has been done over the years. The community felt that government is not too concerned about their plight, because they feel that if government is serious or concerned about the problem that they are facing or going through, government would have taken prompt action in addressing same as they have done in other parts of the country. So that is the reason why we felt that the people felt they are being neglected, and in the pursuit of the unity agenda, cohesion, it is important that we clear those doubts from the minds of the local people.
All right, Richard.
The MP also made a public statement that for how long will government look on unconcerned? The media was there. The NADMO report indicated that over 200 households were affected by this recent disaster. So if the citizens or the community members, victims of the affected areas are crying that the full government is neglecting them, it is just important that as a civil society we add our voice and tell government that government need to do ABCD to
Richard,
correct the situation over there.
Richard, now,
yes,
great. You've made the point now in relation to what is needed. Now, to also put this into perspective, even when the Minister for Housing, Works and Housing, Honorable Asubuachi, was being vetted, the Member of Parliament for Ketu South, Jifa Gomashi, did put to him what he will be doing to address the issues and also how he is going to ensure that the sea defense wall, the phase 2 or the second phase, will be constructed. It's rather unfortunate that this had to happen again, but the minister, after the second time in this year alone, after the first one was recorded in March, did send some delegation or did send some personnel from the Hydrological Service Department, and he also went there for first-hand information. But he has made an assurance that they are working with the Finance Ministry to allocate some budget to work it out. And we do know that the minister will be reading the budget before the House next week, Monday. Would it not be fair to wait patiently and see if the assurance made will reach to the persons affected, with duly respecting the situation, the devastating impact that the tidal wave has had on the people.
It's very difficult to hear your question because your sound is so low. Okay.
I'm asking that, wouldn't it be fair to hold on to hear from the finance ministry, as the Western Housing Minister has assured that they are actually securing some budget allocation from the finance ministry to complete the second phase of the sea defense wall, which is to cover about 8 kilometers.
There is one thing assuring the people that the project will be done. And there is also, this issue is also an emergency situation at hand. So after all these people lost their lives or lost everything, before government, what to be the sense in government going in to fix the problem if all these people lost their lives? This is an emergency situation. We demand emergency measures or steps. If you could recall, when a disaster happened in Lomé somewhere, before the election 2020, government made efforts, entered Lomé, supported those people. That because it was an emergency situation. People read meaning into it, but CFF is not reading any meaning into it because those people were Ghanaians. So if there is an issue which is very urgent, they need urgent measures. We don't wait till the unexpected happens before we over the years, this kind of bureaucratic system is not helping anyone. The people are suffering. Going through this kind of system, bureaucratic system before fixing the problem, I don't think is too good for us. So on humanitarian grounds, we want this problem to be fixed once and for all.
Right.
We cannot wait any longer. The people cannot wait any longer. It is out of hand. If you go, my brother,
okay,
you speak for yourself. I don't think it's too good.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Richard Kasu is the Executive Director of Community Focus Foundation there, registering his displeasure and actually appealing to the government to be more proactive in responding to the plight of the affected residents within the communities around the Angloga district in the Volta region and beyond. Now, moving on to other stories, the Africa Education Watch has advised WAEC to lodge a formal complaint to the police to investigate them if they suspect its official complaint to the police CID on examination paper leakage of the 2021 WASI is a hoax. The think tank described WAEC's approach on the matter in what it says is a public relation expedition to cover up its inertia. EduWatch is also requesting an external investigation to ascertain the actual source of leakage in this year's WASI. Executive Director of EduWatch, Kofi Asare, made these remarks at a news conference held in Accra on Tuesday.
That meeting, we provided a screenshot evidence of the date and time to prove that the food and nutrition paper actually leaked on the WhatsApp platform. And so we were very surprised that WAEC held a press conference in the comfort of their office and were pretending that what we provided was not known to them. If WAEC still insists that there were no leakage as alleged, we strongly advise WAEC to lodge a formal complaint to the police to investigate EduWatch for deceiving the police with fake evidence of leakage, rather than going about and holding public relations expedition to cover for glaring systemic inefficiencies. First step in blocking the perennial leakage is in identifying its source. It is on the back of this that we are requesting for an external investigation to ascertain the actual source of leakage in this year's WASI papers.
We still have some more stories coming up right after this breather.
Black Friday big sales now. Yeah, sign their back. Black Friday big sales. I have 4 days pay. 2026, I come in 30th November. What is a high sense year promo? No, Nisa, over Tony, my papa. They bought that for. A German panel, or television, refrigerator, an chest freezer, air conditioner, gas cooker, washing machine, smartphone, sound system, water dispenser, kettle, and iron. You want in Navy. Black Friday big sales. Madam Hisense, Matete Soma will say, Guabuaho, Nakai say, Hisense Black Friday big sales. Air showrooms in 26th to 30th November. Hisense and Kwana Mao 5 years manufacturer defense warranty. Hisense, everyday prices for everyday people.
Hello there, I am Sawmill here, and I am so sure that you love season 1 of The Next TV Star. Well, I'm here to tell you that season 2 is here, and I know you definitely want to participate. Here's what you have to do. Pick up your phones and register by dialing *711*83# and register with your full name. The audition dates are the 13th and 14th of November 2021, happening right here at the GhOne TV studios on the Kanda Stretch. I cannot wait to meet all of you. The judges cannot wait to meet all of you. So see you on the 13th and 14th of November 2021. The Next TV Star, it's your time.
This week on Rhythms Covers, we are going straight to Jamaica. Yeah, man, it's a reggae dancehall thing. Are you feeling? Contestants are to do a rendition of their favorite reggae and dancehall songs. Don't miss out this Sunday at 9 p.m. And don't forget to keep voting for your favorite contestant to keep them in the competition. Dial *711*83#, select option 2 and enter the nominee code. Rhythms Covers, live the music.
Rhythms Covers is sponsored by Flora Disposable Handkerchief, Close Up, Cloud9 Restaurant and Bar, Boss Baker, and Betway.
You're welcome back. This is GhOne Newsroom. Moving on to other stories now. The unavailability of parking spaces for both private and commercial vehicles at Medina has forced most of the commercial ones to resort to the use of wings off the street as loading bases. This situation has in the past weeks created a huge challenge for both the vehicles and commuters due to traffic congestion. The situation has been made worse with the exorbitant charges by owner of Deco-built car park, which is the only car park which can accommodate them. GhOne News' Calvin Maunyo took a visit to the place and has come through with this report.
The absence of appropriate parking spaces in Medina has made the seamless movement a difficult task in the past few weeks. Aside the traffic congestion this has created, hawkers and shop owners are struggling for space to sell their wares.
Customers no pity. Cars no besi kwan no ye di ade se wa ye ntomaye enti se omo ha ye ukaso so amuntie enti penyimfo nhwe bibi no mo ye maye first no moto ade sen omo ye aha no mo se omo ade to na ba fom nipa bebire omo ye ne center man nipa bebire free ha no si ti ade to na enko so to se first no.
The only one available is the Deco-built lorry park, but the exorbitant charges on drivers is forcing them to operate on the streets, thereby worsening the situation. Wisdom is one of such drivers who are resorted to loading by the roadside.
Station, so Scamo and Scano Dawson. The Binomo to me at Chiacoba, yeah, to me, and that's what I'm wanting. First, nature 5 city, gate fee, nature 5 city. 1 trip, 4 city. That's all 5 strips over 20 Ghana.
But Zaydek Nkrumah operates in the Deco-built station and he shares his experience.
Tama you free hand me say no. I call other place hono. Na edwuma challenge abam free say ne hono and na market ni mutwi. Tina passengers na or more bar carry you for no made na maso no muntime ma. nti e wo no mo sa afaka ne bi wo kwan nti ma ye kobre wo ho no mo sa but o mo yie ba ha no mo se nso no akoma passengers no mo na so sa afaka no kwan kire se
Ayuba Musa is a trustee of the Ghana Private Road Transport Union, and he wants the management of Deco Build to amicably resolve the challenge to give some respite to the drivers.
Mr. Sir Impedifono, among Kauma Jumbo, na a quantum bremuna, ya, Yajina, or Quanasono, Yantimi emblem, say, Casacasa, and Kitten Bioma, and we are Sam Penifono.
Michael Mackenzie speaks for Deco Build, and he tells GH1 News the expansion project has been completed and that all but 2 unions are still loading from the roadside.
We're trying to put together the platform for them, for the lorry park. I mean, we're doing some works around the whole place. So that's why we moved all the vehicles out for us to be able to do the repairs and everything.
Let's do some business-related stories. Now, the Natural Resource Governance Institute has charged the government to be transparent regarding the structure and governance, terms of agreement and repayment conditions in dealing with resource-backed loans, RBL, in the country. According to the institute, these disclosures will enrich public discourse and help highlight the impact of these arrangements on public finances, project execution, and corruption risk associated with the resource-backed loans. There's more in the following report.
The NRGI and the Africa Center for Energy Policy, ACEP, at a public dialogue analyzed the opportunities and risks of resource-based loans, RBLs, and how efficiently they utilize the RBLs as a financing tool. The African Programs Officer, Dennis Jayir, explains that RBLs are relevant in meeting national development, but the challenges, if not structured well, have the potential to erode all the benefits it can give to a country.
Transparency is at the heart of all these things. If during the process of negotiation and in the process of disbursement and implementation of the projects, government discloses all the key terms, even the terms of the projects, the EPC projects. So when you decide to embark on a project using the resource-backed loan, you are expected to go to Parliament with a specific contract that relates to the implementation of the project.
The executive director of ACEP, Benjamin Boache, explains that it is becoming a feature, particularly in African countries with natural resources depending on these resource-backed loan facilities to be able to develop their countries. He disclosed that there are key worrying trends that need attention, that is transparency and how much due diligence countries ought to do before going into a negotiation.
We can be much more robust and tight around how we have conversations, how we design, to ensure that we account for all these costs, to identify whether it still makes sense to go into those arrangements or not. We're also seeing, a common feature where it is now more of the Chinese doing these things, and they insist on the secrecies that, denying the public access to information on some of these transactions. We don't care where the money is coming from, but we need to have rules of engagement that allows countries, companies to play with, so that it's not always about them, but it's also about us and what rules we have.
The co-chair of the Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative, Dr. Steve Mantiao, disclosed that by government designs, the whole resource-backed loans are opaque and do not give much information to citizens.
The Chinese, in particular, do not care whether you are accountable to your citizens or not. They do not care whether you are roasting or slaughtering your citizens. They still give you the money. And that's for me what creates the problem, because then in that case, resource-backed loans are providing a cover for rent-seeking and abuse of public resources.
Now, to decrease the relatively high cost of internet data in Ghana and Africa, the chairman for the Ghana.com, known widely as Father of African Internet, Professor GhOne, has urged individuals, organizations, and the various government institutions not to just be users of the internet, but internet service providers to help generate enough local traffic. There's more in the following report.
All around the world, the internet continues to transform how people connect with others, organize the flow of things, and share information. With its growing influence on individual consumers and large economies alike, the internet has become an increasingly vital part of everyday life. In spite of the increasing demands of data, consumers, particularly in middle-income countries such as Ghana, pay more for its usage.
I'm not a social media person, so in a week I spend about 20 cedis. Now they are saying that we are switching to e-learning, so we spend part of our semester doing learning online. Yes, so that one also costs. They can subsidize the cost of data because it's very expensive.
In a week I can buy like 30 to 40 cedis. It's quite expensive, yeah, because of the economy stuff and things. I think maybe the government can reduce the price a little bit for us.
Speaking to GhOne Business, Professor of Computer Science, Professor GhOne, explains that to reduce the cost of data, Africa must generate enough local traffic.
Most people don't come to a machine in Ghana. Is the point I'm making. They go to a Google Mail or Hotmail. You understand? How? In so doing, you're not developing your country, you're developing somebody else's country. It will get cheaper there, while it becomes more and more expensive here. This is what we mean by local services. So if you are doing web, let's say you are providing some content, okay? I'm saying that it's better you are providing the content here than necessarily putting it out there.
Professor GhOne adds that Ghana and Africa as a whole has a history when it comes to the internet.
That'll be it for business and sports is up next, and Benghazi is just standing by to bring you all the latest updates. Good afternoon, Ben.
Good afternoon to you, Josh. And in sports today, we hear from Dr. Patrice Motsepe of CAF speaking about the integrity of African referees ahead of the crucial World Cup qualifiers on the continent. Ghana is involved, obviously, with this nation of South Africa. News on that. News on Ghana's team, the Black Stars, currently in South Africa for the game against Ethiopia, and some NBA news all coming up after this. And let's begin with the news involving CAF President Patrice Dr. Motsepe. And he's speaking about the chances of Ghana, but of course, it has to do with the refereeing on the continent. Now, don't forget, the weekend comes up and we have crucial games on the continent for qualifiers for the World Cup. According to the president of CAF, indeed, he has no hand in who becomes a referee or who officiates matches on the continent. This response or this comment comes in the wake of accusations from some Ghanaians that indeed he might influence refereeing ahead of our crucial game against SA in Cape Coast on Sunday.
The Black Stars of Ghana play Ethiopia in the 5th round of Qatar 2020 Group Stage World Cup qualifier on Thursday, before hosting South Africa in the final Group Stage qualifier encounter in Cape Coast on Sunday. President of Confederation of African Football, Dr. Patrice Motsepe, has ignored all claims labeled at him for having the raw power to influence referees' appointment and decisions to favor his country, South Africa.
It doesn't matter who Ghana plays. I've already said to you, in my view, Ghana is one of those nations we want to see to compete at the highest level in the world.
He also stated that his integrity and ethical values will not allow him to get involved in influencing referees' decisions.
And in fact, I don't get involved in those things. And I should not get involved in those things. I have to make sure, all of us must make sure that we've got people of integrity, people who are ethical.
Let's just stay a bit with the Black Stars, and the coach for the team, Milovan Rajevac, has given a clear indication of how serious he intends for his team to qualify for the Mundial. According to him, his biggest agenda or reason for coming back to Ghana was to ensure Ghana qualifies for the World Cup. And for him, that's the biggest aim he has for the Black Stars.
We really hope for that, we are all working, this is our agenda, and every person here, every member of the federation, every member of the technical team, every player, we all want the same thing, and if we qualify for the World Cup, I will be the happiest man on the world. So definitely we are all we will all give our best to make that happen.
And we're wishing the Black Stars the very best of luck for tomorrow's game against Ethiopia in South Africa and on Sunday against South Africa at the Cape Coast Stadium. Let's end on some NBA news now. And the MVP for last season, Giannis Antetokounmpo, had 31 points and 16 rebounds, with Grayson Allen having 25 points in a crucial three-pointer as the Milwaukee Bucks won over Philadelphia 118-109 in the NBA on Tuesday night. Bobby Portis added 19 points for the NBA champions, who played a day after visiting President Joe Biden at the White House to celebrate the franchise's first title in 50 years. The Bucks won for only a second time in the previous 7 games this season in the NBA. Giannis, wonderful game obviously for him. Then I'm sure for you, Josh, that's exciting seeing Giannis and
the Bucks are really doing well.
Winning and doing very well.
Yeah, but then the Warriors is also following out very, very closely, even without Klay Thompson on court. But they're actually doing well, and Steph Curry is just doing all of that. But Giannis,
in fact, he's unplayable currently. Talking about Steph Curry,
absolutely.
I watched his game on Monday night, and man, that guy is on a different level.
And he's coming back very soon. I've been away for a whole season last season. He's coming back pretty soon, and we'll get to understand more of what the Golden State Warriors will be bringing. Thank you very much, Ben Ghazi, and GhOne is up next. Great. Now, the season of Stardom is here again as the next edition of the Next TV Star reality show is poised to take off. While auditions are just around the corner, winners of the previous or the first edition have had the time of their lives on the journey to the limelight. And here is a report by Adwa Amofa Ose.
To announce the winner for the first edition of the Next TV Star, ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for Emmanuel!
They embarked on a journey to becoming TV stars with passion, sweat, and determination. Through the tasks, the many sleepless nights, the research periods, and the heartbreaks of judges' comments after each performance, they sailed through and held their heads high and eventually became winners of the maiden edition of the Next TV Star reality show. Emmanuel Ejabin and his runners-up have since embarked on a journey to success.
I can see a change in my abilities. I must say that I now read and learn more because now people expect you to be on a certain pedestal. So for me, there's the personal growth. My confidence is also up there. And then for impact, I must say that I now look at things critically. Previously, you just sit somewhere and you just talk because you don't understand. But now there's the expectation that before you talk and analyze things, you have to have all the facts, the basis, the understanding. And for the impact of what I've done on others, I can say that people look up to me now and then they are motivated to do things in their life. And I must say that my show is also doing well, Tomorrow's Voices, and people watch it and then they learn a few things. And I think that's good so far.
I'll say that it has been a very interesting and fulfilling journey so far. I have seen massive growth from before I came for the Next TV Star competition till now. I think it's almost a year after the competition. I'm now so very confident on air when I'm presenting, and I know my stuff. I know where to source for facts or information to back my work or my job or my on-air presentation skills, and I'm able to learn from the best who are around me.
My life has changed. You guys know how we started and who I am today. So if you can see blessing from a Next TV Star and blessing now, you can see the vast difference. It's a life-changing experience. We are still growing, we're still going through the process, and so better days and then better experiences ahead.
This is why you should audition for the next edition of the Next TV Star reality show come 13th and 14th October 2021 at GhOne TV premises at the Platinum Place, Northridge, Accra. The Next TV Star, it's your time.
Let's now bring you some international news. Ugandan rebels raped, robbed, and beat several women during an attack on a town in Ethiopia's Amara region. Amnesty International has found amid mounting evidence of brutal violence committed during the year-long conflict, according to an investigation released on Wednesday by the human rights watchdog. 14 of the 16 women interviewed from the town of Nefas Miwacha said they had been gang raped in August during an offensive by the Tigray People Liberation Front, TPLF. Amnesty Secretary General Agnes Polamad says the testimonies had heard from the survivors describe a despicable act by the TPLF fighters that amount to war crimes and potentially crimes against humanity. 15 of the 16 rape survivors interviewed described suffering physical and mental health problems as a result of the attacks, including back pain, bloody urine, difficulty walking, anxiety, and depression. And that does it for GH1 Newsroom. Many thanks for joining us. We'll come back at 6:30 p.m. on News Tonight. Until then, do enjoy every bit of our program. My name is Joshua Nanokwamera. Have a good afternoon.
It's bigger. It's better. It's Songalicious Ghana Cooks Season 4. 4 families, 2 seasoned chefs, and a host of celebrations.